This is Jess's questions for relationships with your stomach.
Hello my loves and welcome to my channel. My name is Jess if you're new around here, and if you're not new around here then hello my loves. Welcome back. It's good to see your face again. Today's video is a very special video. I reached out to everybody. I reached out to the internet and I asked you guys to send me in videos answering 5 questions I gave you about your stomach. Now I got this idea from Shan Boody, so link will be in the description to see the other videos she done. I thought it'd be really wonderful to address stomachs because stomachs is not something that we actually really speak about that much. I was honestly so blown away by all the responses, and I have so many beautiful people in this video. I want to give them a space to shine. I want to use this platform to promote other people and to show other people that they're really not alone, because I can be here chatting about myself, but I'm just one person. So if I get a bunch of people together to send me videos from all over the bloody world, then you might be able to relate a bit more, and their experiences are a lot different from mine. I asked these beautiful people 5 questions and they answered.
Not my favorite subject, but my belly. I would say my belly, how I would describe it, is soft. It's very soft, pliable, and jiggly. I think your belly kind of goes toward the back as well. I think it is an all-around experience. It's surround sound. So I would say in the back it, has a little rolls, it's a little bakery back there.
I personally feel like my stomach genuinely looks like a donut that's just come out the deep fat fryer and left to dry before they dip it into their sugar. It's always been round, it's always been soft.
It's like podgy.
I love your podge.
Chunky monkey.
It's got a few stretch marks on it, not gonna lie. I wouldn't expect any less from my body type. When I sit down, it's got multiple rolls, so it just kind of sticks out like that. See?
Kind of like a little booty belly. It's kind of squishy and a bit round.
So I have a bodysuit. I'm just gonna unclip it. My stomach, much like the rest of my body, is quite hairy.
Well, this is what my stomach looks like in all its glory.
My stomach looks like this. I've got some stomach hair here, some stretch marks that come right around the side on both sides. I've got quite a deep belly button, and I have a tiny birthmark here that goes quite purpley when it's really hot or really cold.
My stomach looks cute and squishy. I think I've got like scars going down the middle from eczema. Like back when I was in high school, like I got really bad eczema on my stomach, so I still have lots of scars. I kind of have like those lines you get when you sit down. You get like the roll lines that like permanently don't go away.
This is my stomach at the moment, and this is after a day of just living a normal life, having had good food, wholesome food.
It's cute. It's got rolls and it's got jiggle, and it's also got a cute little freckle. I have recently fallen in love with my belly. I narrowly escaped cancer for the 2nd time by getting a hysterectomy.
My stomach looks like this. So it's just, doing its thing. It has some extra skin. It's a little jiggly.
I would say it's squishy. I have endometriosis, so my stomach regularly bloats like humongously. I'll put up a picture now. I kind of look 3 or 4 months pregnant. It has 3 rolls. It has a slightly bigger roll at the bottom, I suppose where you call it a little pooch. One in the middle, and then one kind of just underneath my boobs.
I currently have a beautiful, luscious happy trail. The reason why I have a happy trail, because it was not worth the notorious, evil-minded freaking ingrown hairs that I was getting, trying to be cute and smooth.
My stomach is quite round, has a lot of stretch marks. I can't remember a time my stomach has ever not looked like covered in stretch marks, big, with lots of rolls.
It's very hairy, like, I am a brunette. I will not say it is defined or right, quite squishy.
My belly looks like this. It is squishy, it wibbles. It's very squishy and soft.
So we've got some like older stretch marks from when I was a teenager, but then we've got some new ones which popped up last year. So it's always kind of bloated, as well as having a bit of fat on there as well. Welcome to the IBS life. Always bloated, always looking a little pregnant.
It's like
toned, but I've definitely got layers of fat over the top. I'm not ripped at all. So you can see I've got like a little bit of tonage. I've definitely got a little something at the bottom, like you can see. My stomach is super chubby. Some may even call it fat. I have purple and white stretch marks which are slowly weaving their way up towards my ribcage.
My stomach is quite flat, not toned. I am not muscular in any way. It is hairy. The birthmark's there, and I have hair starting from my belly button down.
I am only 5'1", so I find for someone of my height, my legs are quite long and my torso is like quite short. My stomach, like all the fat is sort of like pushed together because there's nowhere for it to stretch out on my midriff. I feel like it sort of goes flat and then just all clumps together right here. My belly button is like just like a little crease like in the middle of it. It's not even like an outie or an innie, it's just like a crease where the fat just kind of like has closed around it.
Hell no, my stomach has not always looked like this. In university, I was quite chubby and my stomach was on the chubby side as well. And I was just 24/7 bloated, but I didn't know that I was bloated. I just thought that's how my body was supposed to be. And then when I went back to university and did nutrition, I was like, oh damn, like there's another way of life. I don't have to be bloated all the time.
No, my whole life up until I was 16, I literally never thought about my body and what it looked like. No one ever said anything. I kind of ate whatever I wanted. I've danced since I was 4, so I've always been really, really active. When I was 17, I moved to London and went to a much more like prestigious ballet school where everyone was like tiny. There was still a lot of pressure. They weighed me weekly then, but I would weigh myself like several times a day. Pretty much as soon as I got there was a kind of snowball effect that led into anorexia. And then I kind of went through phases from there. From anorexia I went like orthorexic, and then from there bulimic, and then I kind of binged from there. So like when I was anorexic, obviously like I was tiny, been like super skinny, and then I've been like a little bit big.
Not at all. My stomach has changed a lot over the years. As a child, I was very skinny. I had a majorly flat stomach. Then when I went into puberty, it then like got quite chubby, and that like didn't go well in my brain. I was chubby for quite a few years, and then it kind of slim down naturally again.
To some extent, yes. It's probably fluctuated in size a little bit, extra bit of padding, more definition, less definition over the years, but roughly, you know, similar kind of shape and look.
No, I used to be 250 pounds and now I weigh 175, so a lot of extra flesh, a lot of stretch marks that are so much more visible now.
I used to be like a lot bigger than I am now, apart from it just being a bit bigger. Yeah, it's kind of always looked the same.
My stomach has not always looked the way that it looks now. I think it started changing about 10 years ago when I started like gaining a little bit more weight. Up until then I always thought I was slightly overweight, but looking back at it now I kind of feel, what was I thinking as a teenager? I really wasn't overweight. I was always like a little more than the skinniest girls in my school, but it was fine, honestly.
No, I used to have a flat stomach, but I've had 3 cesarean sections, so it's left me with a lot of muscle wastage and extra skin.
No, I was a little bit bigger. I was just maybe 5-6 kilos bigger, which would just mean that I didn't have the curve here. I was just a little bit more.
My belly has not always looked like this. When I was growing up, it was more round before I hit puberty, so it was more pronounced. And then recently I was diagnosed with endometriosis. And one of the big markers of endometriosis is weight in the soft belly and the area below your belly button, which a lot of people have as a problem area on their body.
My stomach's always looked the same. It's always had the same shape. When I lose weight, or if I put on weight, it still looks the same, just with less or more fat on it.
I used to think that my stomach was absolutely huge, and I used to fall into really silly, unhealthy actions when I was in school to try and get myself thinner. But then looking back on pictures, I was really skinny and tiny, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
I have always been chubby my entire life. I think I've earned my belly. I have 2 babies. One's 21, the other one's 3. I've never had a cute belly. I've never worn a bikini.
I was quite heavy as like a kid and stuff. Obviously when you're developing and stuff, like I gained a lot of weight when I was a kid. I always was like the fattest kid in school, and I always really struggled with like my weight. I was always that like fat kid in school. And I think as I got older, I developed things like anxiety, other like issues and stuff, like like I've lost like a lot of weight from that and those issues. I'm not happy about my stomach. Like, it's probably the thing I hate the most about myself, that and my legs.
No, my stomach hasn't always looked this way. Probably bigger than it ever was actually at the moment, but it's always been on the bigger side. I always was one of the bigger girls at school. I did go through a period where it was quite flat. Honestly, I hated my body so much at that point that I don't remember even ever getting my stomach out or appreciating that it was flat at that point. I definitely appreciate it more now that it's bigger, which isn't really what people would expect, but that's just the way that it worked out for me.
No, it's not always looked this way. I used to be absolutely ripped. Like, people would ask if I competed because I was so ripped. I used to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a day. Clearly had nothing better to do. And I was absolutely like shredded. So no, I haven't always looked this way.
It hasn't always looked like this. I feel like it's very spotty down there because of the ingrown hairs and fuzzy and stretch mark infused. Before, when I was younger, I didn't have that, but I gained some weight, lost some weight, toned back up. So, you know, the snatch, you know, you can only expect so much, you know, elasticity.
It has not always looked like that though. When I was much younger, you could bounce a quarter off of it. It was rock hard and I didn't even try. And I didn't even know what I had. And then I got pregnant. It's never been the same. I kept having kids like quickly after, because right after I had him, I found out that I had cancer and needed to take care of that. Found out that it might be back within 10 years. And so, to be honest with you, I did the best I could to have as many babies as I wanted and I could in that time.
I feel like sometimes the hair, because it grows like crazy on my stomach, sometimes I do want to shave it off, and sometimes honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, sometimes I do take the hair off, but for the most part, I love my stomach.
My relationship with my stomach has got a lot better over the past few years, and that's because I've put in the work to make it better. I used to literally hate my stomach, I used to hate my body, I used to just hate everything about myself, and I really do put that down to growing up as a first-generation migrant in the UK and going to school with predominantly white people. So there's a lot of self-hate and a lack of body confidence for me. I didn't want to look like myself, basically. I hated the way that my body was shaped, I hated my hair, I hated the colour of my skin. But in recent years, in putting in the work, I've been able to reverse that. So the relationship with my stomach and with myself is a lot better.
I haven't always had the best relationship with my tummy. I used to really hate this sort of roll when I sit down and the way it like goes out here. I didn't like its size. I thought it was too big. I didn't like that it was soft. I thought I wanted it to be flat. It didn't always make me happy. It used to make me quite sad. Nowadays, I love my belly. I love how soft I am. I love how squishy I am.
Now my relationship with my stomach is really good. I have a lot of body confidence, a lot of self-love and self-acceptance. This wasn't always the case. Actually, my stomach was one of the hardest parts of my body to accept ever since I was a child. So yeah, it's taken a lot of hard work to get to this point. But now I love photographing my belly. I love wearing crop tops. I can say that I love my belly now.
My relationship with it is a rocky one. I feel like we had a tough past. I used to fucking hate it. I really hated it. Couldn't look at it. I didn't want to seen in any sort of way, so I was always wearing like these thick pieces of clothing to try to cover up any lines or marks. I was wearing like girdles and like multiple like tight layers to like suck it in. I had a really bad relationship with my stomach. Now I appreciate it, you know, like it's just doing its thing. It's just being a stomach. I don't hate it anymore. As much as like sometimes I'll have those moments where I really want to look like a skinny Victoria's Secret model, I understand that like that's not a requirement. I can learn to completely love and accept myself with my current body as long as like I know I'm healthy and feel good.
My whole life, my relationship with my body was a negative one. I tell the story a lot, but when I was 9, I remember standing in the mirror and saying what plastic surgery I would get when I was older. 9 years old, like I already had a concept of I have a body and it's not good enough. I would always go to sleep and I would pray that I would wake up in someone else's body with different hair, with different skin. And I really, really hated myself.
It's okay. It takes a long time to get your body confidence back, especially after going through something like that for several years. I'd say I'm at the best place I've been in a really, really, really long time.
So my relationship currently with my stomach is fine, but when I was younger, 15, 16 plus, I was really self-conscious of it because I never had to really have my stomach on show other than going on holiday with my family when I didn't really care. And when I first started having boyfriends, becoming sexually active, I wouldn't let them touch my stomach. I would always be paranoid if they were looking at it too much, and I was always covering it up, put my hands over it, and you know, if there was a try spoon me, go to sleep, I wouldn't let them touch my stomach. But over the years growing up, I started, you know, practicing more self-love and then wearing clothes, say like crop tops, in a way to sort of push myself out of my comfort zone.
My relation with it, with my stomach, I would say that I'm quite concerned about it and I don't love it. I know that a lot of feminists in France would say that because I shave my hair on my body and on my stomach, it's not quite in the way of feminism. I say fuck it, I do what I want.
Over the past couple of years, I've had a lot of go-arounds with my belly. The last one being, you know, the situation with the hysterectomy. I also found out with that I had endometriosis for 31 years and it was never diagnosed. I was always told to suck it up, carry on. I think that's part of the reason why I do love my body and my belly. I've had a significant amount of stomach problems as well, like digestive disorders, but I have overcome them with a vegan diet, honestly. Like, I'm not even blowing smoke up your ass.
I have an awful relationship with my stomach, but I'm working very hard to change it. I've hated it ever since puberty when it started to get bigger. I'm trying really hard to be kinder to it and just appreciate it and be like, thank you for keeping me alive. And it's a very long process and a very hard one.
I've tried to change it where the only workout I would do was sit-ups and plank because I was like, stomach, you know. But also, am I doing the sit-ups and the planks for me or am I doing them for other people? And I was like, I'm not doing this for me. I genuinely am not doing it for me. Therefore, I'm going to stop and focus on how my body works. Being a black girl looking through magazines or looking at movies or whatever, all the women that I see on screen are skinny, light skin or white. They have flat stomachs, they have tight thighs, they have perfect boobs, they have perfect skin, they have aligned teeth. It goes further than just like the beauty industry. It goes as far as family as well. Because it affects our society. The beauty industry affects society. It's not just, oh, a magazine said this. It's a magazine is portraying something that society will buy into. I've definitely felt pressure to change it. I felt pressure to change many parts of my body. I felt pressure to remove my acne, remove my stretch marks, align my teeth, straighten my hair, all of that. And I was like, this is not for me.
I don't want to sit here and be a basic bitch and be like, oh my god, yeah, Instagram makes me cry every day. But like, as cliche as it is, it fucking does. The way I feel about how I look depends on what I've seen on Instagram that day. Following plus size models because they look so good. And that makes you think, damn, do I think that bitch is ugly? No, I think that bitch is fucking fine. Bad thoughts like, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, Thinking that doesn't change how you look. It's not going to make you lose 5 pounds because it's not going to do anything except make yourself feel shit. And who would want to make themselves feel shit? Don't do it.
Yeah, when I used to go to the gym a lot, I did try and change it to be more ripped. I did feel pressure too because my boyfriend at the time was a bodybuilder. He wouldn't be mean, but he would subtly make marks about other girls having six packs and being ripped and stuff, and looking at them on Instagram, following these fitness things, showing me like, oh, she's got nice abs, and I'd be like, oh, maybe I should look like that.
Definitely, I've felt pressured by the media, by celebrities. Now you get so many celebrities promoting stupid tea diets, skinny coffee, skinny tea. It's just ridiculous to think that someone who has probably done a really heavy, intense workout plan over a course of probably 6 to 8 weeks of probably working out every single day, calorie restricting, and then they go and put up a post about skinny tea and say how that's how they've lost weight, when in reality that's a load of BS.
Yes, ever since I was a child, sadly. I learnt early on to have a negative concept of my body. I learnt that my chubby belly was something that I needed to change. Adults were always talking about weight loss and dieting. I was painfully aware that I didn't look like the other children at my school. I wasn't small and petite like them. I didn't often feel like a child because I felt bigger than everyone else. I've always been on a diet or tried to exercise my stomach away. It wasn't until a few years ago that I really learnt to love my body and accept it and stop trying to change it.
I have definitely tried to change my stomach before. I feel like I've tried to change it a lot. I still try to change it, just like slimming down a little bit, lose some weight. I feel like every time I've ever wanted to lose weight was always just in my stomach. I mean, because all my weight literally goes straight to my stomach and my sides. Like, it just goes nowhere else but there.
When I graduated from uni, my God, did I try and change the way that my body looked in the worst way possible. I went on so many different diets. I was restricting food. I would literally eat meals that were like this big. That's not even a meal. Like, I wouldn't even get full up. Yeah, I would count calories. I would restrict food. I would go to the gym all the flipping time, and none of it worked for my body because my body type is just not that. I'm a Punjabi woman, and that low carb, high protein chicken and rice meal that everyone bangs on about just didn't work for me. Once I started to do the work and I started to embrace me for me, and I stopped trying to be like all the white and Caucasian and European people that I saw in the media, I felt a lot less pressure in trying to change myself, and that's when everything just started to kind of balance out.
I shave the hair on my stomach. I still do that. I've done that since I was like 13 or 14. Only because I feel pressure to. Only because I feel like if I was to wear a crop top like I always do, or a bikini or something, that I would be ridiculed. I would be pointed out. From age 14 for years, I religiously drank skinny tea because I thought that it would help me tone my body, keep me fit and healthy, the way I wanted it to look, the way I thought it was desirable. Like, I'd had so many compliments on my flat stomach and how skinny I was. I couldn't possibly let that change, so I had to look after myself and drink this tea. The whole skinny tea movement, it just makes you shit. That's all that does. It just takes everything out of you. I don't actually want to know the lasting effects that's had on my body after drinking it since age 14.
I'm now recovering from anorexia nervosa, which I was diagnosed with just over 3 years ago now, and I was very, very unwell to the point I was hospitalised and I did nearly lose my life. So I definitely felt pressure, not just from society but from myself as well. You know, there is that one stubborn really small pouch of fat on the front of your stomach, and I think as a woman that's just something that we have to accept is there, because it is there to protect our reproductive organs.
I would say a lot of the pressure has come from myself. I have put a lot of pressure on me to look a certain way, to be a certain way, to be a certain weight, to eat a certain thing, constantly like pressure, pressure, pressure. You need to do this in order to change your stomach, for it to be flatter or to be skinnier or to fit into this outfit. I'm always placing that pressure on myself that I'm not good enough if I'm not this size, and that's something I've done sort of throughout my childhood, and that has led to me sort of crash dieting, like, you know, not eating, using things like my fitness tracker to like make sure I didn't eat more than 700 calories a day at one point, and it's so unhealthy. And then going to the gym as well, and I would burn hundreds of calories there, put such pressure on myself to be a certain way. So I think at the moment I'm just like kind of faking it till I make it, just trying to relieve that pressure, just realize that it's not that big of a deal what your stomach looks like.
I guess would be me giving it nice things, but also I think what makes it smile is when I'm not mean, and when I wear my crop tops and feel good wearing my crop tops, and when I wear my bodycon dresses, or like the skirt I'm wearing now, that's kind of a bit more tight in, and I show her off because there is absolutely nothing wrong with my stomach and it deserves to be shown off.
I think the answer is warmth. It sounds like so strange, but I just feel really comfortable and cozy when I'm warm, and even like for no reason other than just to feel like snuggly. If I have like a hot water bottle and you just like hug it, it just like, yeah, it just feels good.
When I leave it alone, okay, when I leave my stomach alone, I'm not touching it, I'm not plucking out the hairs, I'm not trying to hide it or whatever the case may be. My stomach is happy when I leave it alone. You know, society and their idea of what beauty should be, sometimes people are like, oh, like that's a bit much, but I'm a hairy girl. I don't give a fuck.
Fruit and veggies, especially like if I wake up in the morning and start my day with a mango, this makes my belly smile.
the first bowel movement of the day, you just feel so great after that. Like, yeah, that's when your day can start going. Like, I love being full. As soon as I'm full, I can't wait to be hungry again so I can eat, because I love eating. Sometimes I do this, like a hot cross bun.
Italian food.
Anything with sugar, I've got a problem.
Baby, I love you. You keep all my food and all that junk, and you make me happy. When I say that, my stomach smiles. When I eat healthy, my stomach smiles. When I wear what I want to, my stomach smiles.
I love whole foods. Like, honestly, I dig the shit out of like some quinoa, some really good brown rice with some wild rice in it. I love garbanzo beans, avocado. When my husband kisses my belly, I absolutely love that shit. He's been doing it a lot since the surgery.
I really love hummus. It's my favourite thing to eat. Hummus makes my stomach smile.
When I don't eat too much sugar, veganism has made me more conscious about my digestive systems. Yeah, my stomachs smile a lot more since this change.
And I'll tell you one thing, it's fucking McDonald's. If you are having a bad day, get yourself McDonald's. If, you know, your goldfish is drowned, get yourself a large fries. Acceptance. It comes with time. Everything comes with time, but just definitely remembering negative thoughts don't get you anywhere. Acceptance.
My stomach loves donuts. It loves fruit as well. I'm not gonna lie, like, I love a good mango.
My stomach loves to let itself go every now and again. Laying on the couch in sweatpants and just letting it out. What also makes my belly smile is junk food. I feel like what makes me smile is just accepting myself and accepting my belly for what it is.
Eating healthy. That's what makes my stomach smile, is knowing that there's no dead corpses going inside, that what I eat didn't actually have a heartbeat or a mother.
Really good vegan food. I really enjoy cooking meals as a form of self-care. I'm much more in touch with my body and connected with it. Also, just loving my body. Hating yourself is really exhausting. I really appreciate my stomach now. I appreciate everything that it can do for me, and I love it just the way it is, and that makes me really happy.
If I want the cake, I'm gonna eat the cake. So when it comes to what makes my stomach happy, my little tum-tum here, I love macaroni and cheese. I love it. I love pizza, I love carbs, and all those things make me really happy. But also, what also makes me happy is wearing clothes that fit, because for a long time I would just try to squeeze that thing in there because I would rather squeeze than go up in a size, honey. I was pushing plus size and I would rather squeeze into standard size than to slap on a 14. But today I'm like, whatever size jeans is gonna make me look good, I'm gonna wear it. It is a full-time job. It is a commitment. It is a relationship that you choose every single day to combat what the world is telling you, that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, and you'll never be anything. And it's a constant battle of you saying, no.
I think what makes my stomach smile is whenever I have some nice elasticated pants on and whenever I just feel loose and comfortable and I can just relax. Like, I used to be the person who would sit on the couch with a cushion over my stomach to hide it, and that doesn't make my stomach smile at all. It makes it feel very unloved, actually. So now I kind of just like, I like being chill with the stomach out. Also, a top tip is be more dog. This dog does not care what his tummy looks like.
Peanut butter and jam in porridge.
I think it would take a lot for me to learn how to deal with it and how to like get it on show and stuff. I think if it ever comes to the day that I ever actually get my stomach on show, then you know that something's happened and it's a really, really good day.
Okay, I think wearing the right clothes that I feel confident in and that does not kind of cut my stomach off or that does not make me feel conscious of my stomach is what makes my stomach happy.
I love vegan pizza, I love vegan hot dogs, but only if they've got the crunchy onions on top. I love strawberries, I love bananas, I love mango, mango. Ben & Jerry's ice cream, Occasionally when I do sit-ups, my tummy's like, thanks mate.
Belly hugs, and when my girlfriend kind of like curls up and uses my belly as a pillow. Good food. Pizza and burritos, mashed potatoes and cake, basically carbohydrates. And also sunshine. I wear a lot of crop tops in the summer and my belly gets very happy when it gets some sunlight and like cool sea breeze just sort of whoosh hang across me.
When my fiance squeezes it.
Well, there's a few ways you can make my stomach smile. I can bend over and then she's got a great big smile in the middle, but the best way is like this. Just get some lipstick and you draw a great big smile on it. Sometimes you might break your lipstick off, but it doesn't matter. You can give a great big smile.
I'm honestly blown away by all the amazing people that are in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please fucking share it. Share it with the world. Share it with everybody. Share it with somebody that really needs to hear something like this right now. To know that they are not alone in the way they feel and that they are completely valid and they are okay to feel the way they feel about themselves. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful life, and I'm going to see you very soon. Take care. Peace.